Today, I'm sharing what our family eats in a day on a mostly animal-based diet. An animal-based diet is one that consists mainly of animal products like meats, organs, and dairy products, as well as fruits and natural sweeteners like honey and maple syrup. While our family is not strictly animal-based, as you may have seen, some of my other videos or blog posts contain recipes with ancient grains and sometimes rice or vegetables. We do feel best when we stick to a mainly animal-based diet. We usually start the day with some form of raw milk, whether it's just cold, fresh raw milk, or we might warm it up and add some gelatin and other flavors. I'm no longer a coffee drinker, but I do enjoy hot cocoa every once in a while. Next, we usually enjoy some eggs in the morning or for an early lunch. And I always cook my eggs in pasture-raised butter. If you have not stopped cooking in highly processed seed oils, I highly recommend you get started cutting that out of your diet and switch to grass-fed butter, tallow, and even pasture-raised leaf lard. It's also ideal to pick a high-quality egg. Chickens that are rotated on pasture, eating lots of bugs, grass, and laying in the sun are going to be far more nutritious than eggs from a chicken raised indoors on a low-quality feed. If you can, maybe even try raising your own chickens for eggs. That way there's no question as to what your chickens are eating or how they are being raised. Next, I'm going to talk about lunch, which usually lunch for us is a combination of different snacks, maybe even some leftovers, and some easy to digest carbs like bananas. Bananas are a cheap and very versatile fruit to keep on hand. One of my favorite ways to enjoy bananas are by frying them in butter or ghee. Then I slice the bananas and I fry them until they are caramelized on the edges. If you have ever been to a Central or South American restaurant and got something called maduros, this is a sweeter version made with bananas instead of plantains. Many different cultures enjoy fried plantains, and I like to have my fried bananas with some yogurt. Yogurt is a very important part of our diet following this animal-based diet, and I usually make mine at home. Sometimes I enjoy it more liquidy, and then a lot of times I'll strain it. And I like to enjoy my yogurt with raw honey. By making my own yogurt at home, I'm able to ensure the quality of the milk by choosing a non-homogenized pasture-raised milk, and I also can make yogurt for far cheaper than if I were to buy it at the store. I like to strain my yogurt most of the time to make a high-protein Greek yogurt or skyr. Another important dairy product in our diet is cheese, especially raw cheese. I enjoy raw cheese throughout the day with many different snacks, and also I add it to a lot of different meals. There is such a huge variety of cheeses to choose from, but one of my favorites is raw cheddar. One thing I love about the animal-based diet is that you are so satiated. When you are trying to avoid a lot of different foods, you find yourself really craving them. But on the animal-based diet, because you are enjoying basically humans' favorite foods, you don't find yourself craving things so badly. Another delicious snack I like is frying cheese on a medjool date. It is such a delicious snack. And you can also even enjoy some dates with butter, which makes a delicious and high healthy fat snack. To me, it tastes a lot like cookie dough. For many people, grains can be very irritating to the gut, but when you're replacing the grains with natural fruits, you might find that you are satiated and you're not craving things. You are avoiding things like grains and beans and vegetables because you're trying to heal your gut. These foods can be very difficult to digest, and for someone with a gut that's already compromised, it's going to prevent them from being able to heal that gut. And then that leads to so many other health problems and inflammation. So by following a diet of foods that have pretty much always been eaten by people, you're allowing yourself to heal. And at the same time, you're also eating very nutrient-dense foods. Once you have healed your gut, you might be able to add some things back in. Like sometimes we do still eat ancient grains like einkorn wheat or a little bit of rice every once in a while. But keep in mind how you feel and go slow on adding back in any foods. Some might think this diet is going to be so restrictive, but you can make so many different things with just fruit and meats and other animal-based foods. For example, there are so many different varieties of squash, and you can make very delicious savory meals with them. A lot of the foods that we think of as vegetables are actually fruit. So now I'm working on dinner, and I'm just going to be making some lamb cooked with some squash. One thing you can do with zucchini is you can even use a little noodle tool, and you can twist it and turn them into little zucchini noodles, and they are very delicious. They don't taste exactly like pasta, but it really does the job when you are craving some pasta. And it's much more filling and nutritious. I always think it's funny when I see the zoodles in health food markets like Whole Foods, because it's so cheap to just make them yourself and buy a little cheap tool on Amazon. Another one of my favorite versatile fruits are cucumbers. You can make some delicious salads with cucumbers. You don't need only vegetables to make salads. So with dinner, I am making a cucumber salad. I'm going to be topping this cucumber salad with some freshly sliced basil, minced garlic, apple cider vinegar, and olive oil. Another thing you can make with cucumbers are some fresh pickles. And I like to make refrigerator pickles as well as fermented pickles. Now it's time to make dinner, and today I'm making some cut up lamb, and I'm just sauteing it on a griddle. I'm adding some fresh herbs and some spices. Then I'm adding some squash and zucchini. One thing I really love about the animal-based way of eating is how simple it is. A lot of times it's just a matter of throwing some meat on the grill. I love eating burgers very frequently. Cooking things on a char grill adds so much flavor. And hamburgers are such a nutrient-dense meal. Once the burgers are mostly done grilling, I like to add some cheese on top for some delicious cheeseburgers. Another thing you can make is bone broth and enjoy delicious soups. Your soups could include fruits like tomatoes, peppers, squash, and you could also add potatoes, onions, and garlic if you can tolerate it. If you have never tried the animal-based diet and you are struggling with your gut health, I highly encourage you to give it a try and see if it makes you feel better. Our inflammation and general energy is so much better following this way of eating. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more natural, nourished, and traditional living content.